What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. It's the first Raw of February and neither rain nor sleet nor snow is slowing Vincent Kennedy McMahon from airing it. Join us now as Wrestlelamia analyzes Raw and looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including another WWE superstar suspended for violating the wellness policy. That and more violations could be coming. Ronda Rousey return news, Goldberg returning, a big push for Two Cruiserweights, and injuries are stacking up in the WWE. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. But let's waste no further time and analyze Raw as we look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. Let's always start off with the good as number 1, Randy Orton steps up. Although the WWE gets bad grades for stating Randy Orton would explain his atrocious actions last week against Edge, Orton himself did a great job manipulating the crowd as they waited on his every word. While Orton didn't say much of anything, it's another reminder that number 1, Orton is best as a heel, and number 2, he's one of the best performers in the world when he puts his mind to it. It's just he often phones it in, collecting big paydays for boring matches. He hasn't been phoning it in with this program and it could turn into one of 2020's biggest feuds. Number 2, moving things forward. The WWE continues to advance storylines, whether it's rising stars such as Humberto Carrera and Aleister Black, or established stars such as Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, or Randy Orton. But the WWE seems to be finally using Raw's 3 hours in an effective manner, providing the build-up for big matches through interviews, matches, and whatever else they feel will get the fans to tune in next week and for pay-per-view events. Last night saw the return of Ruby Riott, an important matchup made for Super Showdown, and a fantastic promo from Drew McIntyre that should make fans think the Scottish psychopath has the skills and will be able to topple Lesnar at WrestleMania. Number 3, who's NXT? The WWE did well bringing Rhea Ripley out to invite Charlotte Flair to challenge her for Ripley's NXT Championship. As we noted last week, Flair could help push up NXT's ratings and give its women's division more attention. Number 3, a tantalizing twist. Humberto Carrera looked to be back on track for a strong push when he returned to challenge Andrade for the United States Championship. As sometimes happens in wrestling though, the fickle finger of fate upset the plans due to Andrade's recent wellness policy violation. In a good example of turning chicken shit into chicken salad, the WWE has brought Carrero's real-life cousin Angel Garza into the program, with Zelina Vega using Garza to get revenge for Andrade. The Carrera-Garza matches should provide a good distraction while Andrade sits out his suspension, and it gives Garza a chance to impress the powers that be on Raw. We're also salivating at the idea that we could have a 4-way match between Andrade, Garza, Rey Mysterio, and Humberto Carrera. That match would be of epic proportions. Number 5, the crowd. Now, due to a snowstorm in Salt Lake City in Utah, many had predicted, and of course we reported on it last night, that many fans wouldn't actually turn up to Raw because many roads were blocked and the city advised against any travel. However, the fans really came through tonight, and surprisingly Raw didn't look empty. It was really full. Actually, it looked fuller than most shows. Perhaps it was because WWE doesn't visit Utah very often, but hats off to the crowd, they actually made the show last night. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is number 1, Daniel Bryan called and he wants his promo back. The WWE Universe was waiting to hear what Randy Orton had to say about his motivation for destroying Edge on last week's Raw. Hell, people braved a snowstorm in Salt Lake City to hear the Viper's motives, only to get nothing as Orton just stood there. While bait and switch is a time-tested tradition in professional wrestling, the WWE just went through this bit last summer when Daniel Bryan proclaimed that he had a career-changing announcement to make, following him and Rowan losing the SmackDown Tag Team Championship at Extreme Rules. Come on, WWE. Bait and switches are bad enough and have a tendency to backfire, angering fans then getting them to tune in for more. There was zero creativity in this segment and the WWE should have capitalized on the major heat Orton had with the live audience. Number 2, killing your main event. The WWE put on a tantalizing main event with Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins and Ricochet competing for a WWE Championship match at Super Showdown. Now we have to commend WWE for actually putting Ricochet as #1 contender, as let's face it, most of us thought that it would be Seth Rollins again, but there are unfortunately two problems. The first being that no one is going to see Ricochet versus Lesnar as a competitive match. Number 2, Brock Lesnar coming out of the match and F5ing Ricochet only drove the first point home further. This was no way to build up Super Showdown's WWE Championship match as anything but an afterthought. And number 3, killing the 24/7 Championship. 24/7 title has been lots of fun, but there's no arguing it's grown a bit tiresome. Still, Mojo Rawley's self-proclaimed policy of only defending it when he wants robs the title of its uniqueness, and it's another huge gap in the WWE rulebook. If the title was designed to be defended 24/7, how can a champion pick and choose his opponents? But was there any downright ugly on this episode of Raw? No, there really wasn't. Major props to first the WWE for the extra work they had to go into getting there and running the show. Also more props to the fans who actually made it to the arena, possibly even risking their life. Apart from a few nitpicks, this Raw was a solid show. It's actually getting us hyped for WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar vs Drew McIntyre seems fresh. Edge is actually back in the WWE. WWE could even give us what we wanted, and that's Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Everything is just really coming into place. But that was the good, the bad and the downright ugly for Raw. Let's move on to the news as our first story, more wellness violations coming. Now there have been quite a few suspensions in the past month. First Robert Roode and Primo Colon, then United States Champion Andrade, and now it's possible WWE have even added Samoa Joe to the list of wrestlers who have violated the policy, and there may be more to come. Wrestling Insider WrestleVotes tweeted, "Word coming out of Raw is that more suspensions are coming. Must be something in that Southern California water, hint hint. Working to confirm details." He then tweeted a picture of Samoa Joe checking his phone. Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch, but it does make us think why Joe was taken out of his match last week. Did WWE know about this suspension well ahead of time and prepared in advance as a way to take Joe off television? Keep in mind they did the same thing with Andrade with an injury angle. Next up, Rowdy Ronda's rules for in-ring return. While fans have been hearing about Ronda Rousey's return to the ring, it seems about as likely as Half-Life 3 being released this year. Did we mention that we have a gaming channel? But always ready to provide our fans with a shred of hope, the baddest woman on the planet recently spoke with Jackass star Steve-O as they toured her farm compound, with Rowdy Ronda stating her terms for returning to the WWE and why she's so resolute about them. "I did completely full-time for a year, all of the television and as many live shows as I could. I probably worked 200 days out of the year. Most people do way more. Most people have live shows throughout the week, then go and do television, then get to be home for a day and a half, then do it again. It's non-stop. It was so much time away from my family that I couldn't do it sustainably." Rousey should keep in mind the WWE is scaling back house shows, so it's unlikely she would have a lengthy schedule unless she chooses to take it. Whether it's Edge or Brock Lesnar, the WWE has shown it's willing to work with acts as it seizes special attractions and book them for limited dates. Nonetheless, Rousey's return seems in jeopardy based on what she later told Steve-O. "Me and Travis Brown want to have babies, and if I'm gone 200 days a year taking powerbombs every night, I don't think that's conducive for conception. We wanted to take time and make us a priority. I don't know when I'm gonna go back. I know I want to, but I don't think I'll be able to do it in that capacity again. I couldn't put my family through that again." If Rousey wants a family as she stated before, it seems short-sighted any kind of immediate return, save a one and done at WrestleMania or a similar big show such as SummerSlam. If Rousey's comments are true and it's not a work to hide a WWE return from the fans, she may not be coming back for some time. Next up, Goldberg returning. Now, Ringside News is reporting that during Raw, the WWE announced that Friday Night SmackDown will feature the return of Bill Goldberg. WWE also announced this on their Twitter. Whilst it's always good to see a WWE Hall of Famer, it's unlikely Big Bad Bill is making a mere social call, particularly since Super Showdown is fast approaching. Who do you think the WWE is going to pit Dollar Bill against in Saudi Arabia? Next up, a big push for Two Cruiserweights. It looks like NXT's Triple H and Shawn Michaels have two prospects they're big on, which could mean good things for these fledgling superstars. TalkSport's Alex McCarthy tweeted, "Shawn Michaels is said to be big on Jordan Devlin and wants him to defend the Cruiserweight title across all brands." To add to that, I spoke to WWE official in Texas who said Triple H is obsessed with NXT UK's Ilya Dragunov. 2020 seems like a big year for these guys. Although the WWE just renamed the Cruiserweight Championship the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, it would be a good idea to see the title defended on Raw and SmackDown, as well as NXT, especially since it would give the Cruiserweights on the red brand and blue brand something to do other than count the lights. And our final story, the injuries keep piling up. The WWE continues to see its superstars getting hurt, with AJ Styles and Kalisto being just two of the latest victims to the dreaded injury bug. The WWE has a huge roster, so it's going to have a certain amount of injuries due to the wear and tear superstars put on their bodies, as well as the occasional freak accident. Nonetheless, at what point should the company ask, why are there so many injuries? Is it due to the hard-hitting and high-flying performances of its stars? Is it due to the superstars being overworked? Is it due to performance-enhancing drugs that make muscle tears and similar injuries more likely to happen? While the WWE has a huge roster with many superstars looking to move up the ladder, the company can't afford to treat its stars as expendable crash dummies, even if many of them are locked into 5-year deals. But there you have it, guys. Our analysis of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.